Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the new movie that just came out. Well, by the time this is actually released, I don't know how much longer this is going to be past, but Sicario is an interesting film. So the first one, I have to admit, I wasn't that impressed with, mainly because I feel like Emily Blunt's character was just kind of complaining through the whole thing, and I kind of get that they were just using her, but it is one of those things where it was a little bit annoying to watch. I do normally like Emily Blunt in a lot of the movies that she makes, but it is one of those things where I feel like this time around she was just kind of complaining a lot, and I was just like, oh, like it just sort of took away from the film. There were a lot of really great scenes, like the highway ambush sort of scene thing. That was pretty cool with Burn Notice in there, so that was hot. I like that. And so in that scene, Benicio del Toro, or fuck, I forgot. Benicio basically uses an MP5, right? And the other guy's got M4s and stuff, and I thought, oh, that's so sweet, because, whenever I watch action movies, I always, pay attention to the guns that they're using. I think it's just one of those things where being in an industry, it kind of makes me, just really interested in, what they use and, how they're using them and stuff, and, some movies will basically have better use if they have the people that they're using, like experts and stuff, to kind of help make it more realistic. Like for instance, the people they hired when they filmed Heat, they had a lot more professionalism and realism in the movie, and I think that attributes a lot to how it translated to the screen. Of course, with great directing as well. Going back to Sicario, so on the highway scene, he uses an MP5, and I think they switched the MP5. I feel like sometimes he's using an MP5 SD, and then sometimes he's just using a regular MP5 with a suppressor.
That shit is fucking trash, dog.
And so, basically with the new movie coming out, the day of the Soldado, or basically Sicario 2, right? I'm sure he probably uses other weapons. I haven't seen it yet at this point, but I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna grab the MP5 from work and basically kind of dress it up a little bit. So this is kind of the configuration I have it set up in. And mainly I did this because Knights Armament just re-released they had an older rail system that they made back in the day, mainly because the MP5 has been discontinued for a long time, but it's still a prevalent weapon system. There's a lot of law enforcement, military still use it. There's a lot of clones on the market just because of the Hollywood allure of the MP5. It's just kind of a legendary weapon. So basically, Knights Armament thought it might be a good idea to re-release the RAS rail systems, so that way you can put accessories on the gun and make it look cool. So this is an MP5. This one is select fire. This trigger pack is semi and then full, or semi and 7-round burst, as indicated on the fire control group. I love the pictogram thing, by the way. If you're gonna get an MP5 and you're gonna use a trigger housing shell, get the pictogram one. The SEF ones are okay. I just can't get into that. I just love the classic HK pictogram. So collapsible stock, right? So this guy folds up, slides in real nicely, keeping it really compact, especially if you have a removable suppressor, so it gets real small. This one is a Gemtech Raptor, and these have basically a built-in tri-lug system, and it's integrated, so it's non-removable. The good thing about this is that if you have it on your MP5, you lock that in, there's nothing to get unthreaded, so it basically just stays right on there because it's locked in. So if you have a 9mm suppressor that has a tri-lug adapter, sometimes the threads can come loose if you don't put thread locker on it or anything like that, and that's just something that could be, I guess, concerned with while you're shooting. Whereas if you're shooting full auto, or you're shooting a high rate of fire semi-automatic, you don't want to be worried about your suppressor unthreading and potentially coming off, right? So basically the Gemtech Raptor is designed to where it's basically a solid body. The disadvantage may be that you can't really perform maintenance on it, but I guess it's a little bit of a trade-off depending on how much you shoot suppressed. Maybe you'll just have to replace it after X amount of rounds. But badass, designed for the MP5, I believe, but it'll work on anything with a tri-lug barrel. So this one obviously has the tri-lug on it. Now, if we get to the RAS portion of this, so this MP5 This MP5 has the Knights RAS system, right? So underneath this rail cover, you just have standard Picatinny rails, right? You see that? So you can attach anything you want to it that fits onto Picatinny. Like I have this Knights Armament broomstick vertical grip. That guy slides on and off depending on, you know, how you want to set up your gun, right? So like I like it with a vertical grip on the front. I think it looks cool, and it also gives it a little bit of an edge. So, you know, controllability with using the MP5. I like having a vertical grip on the front. I think that's nice. That being said, you know, you can still shoot it pretty effectively in the traditional method, but I definitely think it's nice to be able to put a vertical grip on it. So it's got rail on basically 3 sides. You don't get it on the top, unfortunately. You've got your caulking tube up here, so it's going to get in the way. So basically it's just a tri rail on the bottom and the sides. Now the interesting thing is it's actually a 2-piece system. So if you have the tri-rail installed, then you can install the optic mount. So this is actually a separate piece that Knights Armament sells. You have to buy them separately and then combine them. So our powers combine to make this awesome MP5. So it basically just screws in one on each side. So there's a screw here and another one on the other side. And basically that allows you to attach an optic rail. So you can kind of see the Knights Armament symbol and some of the Knights engraving and stuff on there, and that gives you a little bit of a flat top to put whatever optic on it. I have an Aimpoint Comp M2 on here on a low profile mount, so that way it's a good height for, you know, when you have it shouldered up, and I believe it should give you decent clearance for if you have like night vision or something like that. Usually you'll want your optic mounted higher if you're going to run tubes. This one I feel like is pretty close, especially with where the rear sight is. If you put a riser or use a different 30mm mount that's higher up, then you get that better clearance. Otherwise, if you're kind of shooting more traditionally, this is kind of almost where a normal cheek weld would be, and so looking down the optic is definitely going to be pretty normalized for you. So yeah, and then I've just got a standard 30 round magazine in here, and this one has the law enforcement roll marks on it. Pretty cool, but doesn't really make a difference. If you're running good quality MP5 mags, it shouldn't make any difference. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just kind of wanted to throw this video real quick just to kind of show you, basically me just playing around with some stuff at work and just kind of excited about the new movie coming out. I definitely need to go and see it. Should be interesting this time around because Emily Blunt's not in it, and it seems more like geared towards being just like an action film rather than having some drama mixed in there. I don't know, maybe there will be, maybe there won't, but if you've seen it already, I guess you can leave a comment below what you thought of it. Yeah, I don't know, it is what it is. One thing I will say about this rail system is I guess I kind of forgot to go over, there are some negatives to it, because one thing is it does attach really solidly, which I like. There's no wobble, it's smooth. Like if you put a laser on here, you could zero it just fine. You can obviously zero your optic. I guess the disadvantage is it's kind of a pain in the butt to install, so it took quite a bit of finagling just the way that it installs. I don't really know how to describe it without you actually seeing how it's installed. If you ever do install one or have installed one in the past, you kind of probably know what I'm talking about, unless you're just, really good at this kind of stuff and you thought it was a piece of cake. Fine, you're probably in that 1% of people who is good at that stuff. I guess the other thing was the optic mount itself is not usable as a standalone item. So it does not attach to the MP5 on its own. You have to have the tri-rail as well as the optic mount to utilize the optic mount. So you can't just like have a standard MP5 handguard or like a Surefire light handguard and then also use the Knights optic mount alone, because it attaches to the RAS system, and so because of that, it's gonna make it so that you have to use them combined. The other thing I noticed was some optics will not fit on the optic mount for some reason. I'm not really sure. I think it has to do with the curvature here and the clearance on the Picatinny rail. So I tried to put an EOTech EXPS3-0 on it, and it would, no matter how much I loosened up the screw, it would not allow enough clearance for it to rock in place. That being said, I could just be an idiot and maybe I didn't do it wrong. I could just be an idiot and maybe I didn't do it wrong. Maybe I didn't do it wrong. But I could not get that to fit on there. Fortunately, the aim point fits on there just fine, and that's the one I was going to put on there anyway. But it's just something that I thought I'd mention a little bit in my personal experience with it. Still really fucking cool though. Like Knights Armament always makes dope ass stuff, even though this is like retro, older design, and it's something that, you know, basically it's not like new design or new technology like all these cool millennial kids using. Well, Keymod's out already. M-Lock, right, is like the new millennial rail system, right? And honestly, I hate MP5s with rail systems that are not Picatinny or just traditional handguards, like the Picatinny. The M-Lock and Keymod rail systems that are now currently made for MP5s suck. So it is what it is. Basically, MP5. I think this is like A3 or A5 style with a suppressor and aim point rail system. Pretty cool. So I like this. I think it's a lot of fun to shoot. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you today. If you watch Sicario 2, try not to ruin it for me, but I'll forgive you if you do. And yeah, thanks for watching. Check us out on Instagram. It's dwai.videos, and we also have a Facebook page as well. I'll try to post a lot of stuff on there that you might not see in the YouTube channel. Leave a comment if you like the video, and let me know what you think about MP5s, what you think about Sicario's movie, what you think about Emily Blunt. Did she ruin the first movie or not? Or did you like the first one or not? I don't know. And let me know if you like the second one. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.